in the game, you can just kind of bait the killer to just kind of start aiming at one person. So they would just like kind of go around and use her as bait.
He came up behind me and he whispered, he was like, "Hey, follow me." And he like took me around and like showed me how to do stuff. I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Hey everyone, I'm Alex, and I'll help shy, introverted nerds get over their fears and anxieties to find their player 2. Today I bring you Mariah and Corey, and we're going to talk about how they ended up together. The idea is to address your questions, dispel some myths, and hear about the many different ways that nerds can find real relationships. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, to get started, what makes you guys nerds?
Oh, well, we play a lot of video games. We do the cosplay and stuff. We do a lot of cosplays together. That's always fun. I don't have as much time for video games as we used to, but we try our best.
Yeah, I grew up playing Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and then it went from that to video games. All comic book stuff when I was growing up. Really got into the online video game playing. Went to a couple. I'm really into horror movies, if you can't tell. So my first kind of
I thought so.
cons. My first kind of cons were horror related. So I've just been, pop culture. Comic books, movies is my really big thing. That makes me pretty nerdy.
A bit of everything. I love it. That's amazing. So, where does your story start?
Well, I don't know, like 9 years ago, just about.
Yeah.
His brother was friends with my ex, and we all started playing video games together, and he was the only person in the friends group that was nice to me at all.
During the video game.
Yeah, during the video games. Everybody was nice to me outside of it.
I've never met her at the time. I only met her we were playing a video game called Dead by Daylight together. So my brother got me, he was like, "Hey, you need to play this game. It's like, fine, I'll get on. I haven't played any video games in like 3 years, because I decided to be a truck driver. So I finally got to be where I was local and actually home more often. So I, plugged in my PlayStation, got Dead by Daylight, started playing with a group of our friends, or just my brother and his group of friends. So I just started meeting them all one by one. So I was fairly new to the game. And then when they got her involved in the game, she was fairly new as well.
That was really bad.
So she was really just trying to understand how to play the game. And everybody else was just kind of like bullying her around. And I'm like, "Hey, I don't know how to play either, so don't feel bad." It's...
Were you the only woman in the group?
Yeah. There was 2 others, but they didn't end up playing much longer after I started. They kind of went and did their own thing. So yeah, it was mainly a bunch of dudes every day, and then me.
Bullying you.
Yeah, that's okay. It could have been worse, but yeah, he came up behind me and he whispered, he was like, "Hey, follow me." And he like took me around and like showed me how to do stuff. I'm like, "Oh, thank you. One of these guys isn't a complete jerk."
Well, yeah, like in the game, you can just kind of bait the killer to just kind of just like start aiming at one person. So they would just like kind of go around and use her as bait.
Yeah, because they knew I was
for
bad.
the main bad guy.
You were using her as bait.
They were.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I was like, well, that's not really cool. So I was just was like, "Hey, if you want to just kind of follow me around in the game, I'll show you how to do the objectives and
how to not
help you kind of navigate the maps and learn the maps and where to hide." And when the killer did see us or something like that, I would kind of take the aggro from the character so she can go run and hide and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, we started just kind of us learning the game together with a group of friends that drug us into the game because they were so obsessed with it. And then we slowly became obsessed with it.
So, just to clarify, Maria, were you with your ex at the time when you joined the game? Is that why you joined?
Yeah, that's why I joined. Like, I wanted to, feel close to him and do everything that he wanted to do. And, it's one of those things where when we did inevitably break up, I was like, this is my game. I don't care. I'll play.
Interesting. So you joined because of your ex, but the one who was helping you the most was Corey.
Yeah, my ex was kind of a jerk, but it's okay.
We can see why he's an ex and Corey's not.
It didn't last long, I'll tell you that.
Fair enough. So, Corey, did you know that she had a boyfriend at the time?
Yeah, I was pretty familiar with, him. We played Pokemon Go a couple times together at the moment because this is when that was really big, and so I knew him at the time, and I like I said, I didn't know her. I never met her in person for quite a while after, like when we were playing.
At least 8 months.
Yeah,
just about
8 months of playing.
Yeah. Then we finally met in person, and yeah, he was very nice. He used to run a wrestling show, like indie wrestling company, and I went to one of the shows that he was running, and it was really cool. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this. I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but he is. And it was really, really cool to like go and do all that stuff.
Cool. So how long were you still with your ex? Like for the time that, like since you guys met?
I think my relationship with him lasted another 3 months after that. I think we were only together for about a year or so in total, which, in the grand scheme of things, when you're above the age of 15, that's not very long.
Yep.
It never got anywhere serious. I had tried saving up money so that we could move out of my dad's house a couple of times. He never wanted to get serious with me. I'm like, I'm in my 20s. Like, I want to get out of my dad's house. I want to go be an adult.
Right.
And he just wanted to sit there and play video games all day, which, if you can do what you need to do and still play video games all day, that's fine. If you're mooching off of my dad's couch, that's another problem.
Makes sense. So you joined the game. The only one who was being nice to you was Corey. And then when you broke up, what made you still want to keep playing?
It was just really fun for me to, get off work and have that kind of, chill time where I could talk to people, because we were still all friends with each other. I mean, me and my ex weren't on the greatest terms, but we still played together too. We all kind of, just accepted the fact that we don't have anybody else to play with, so we're going to keep going.
Yeah, because at the time we did kind of create like a pretty big group of friends that were already playing together.
So like the thing that sort of like bonded you guys together were like you were the newest ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the ones who didn't know much. Corey, like, how do I ask this? So everyone was being an asshole. You were being nice. Now, my question is, what made you want to be nice, right? You can say, I'm a nice guy naturally.
So the way I answer that is when I meet somebody for the first time, I try to meet them on the best foot forward possible. So it's always, I don't care what anybody necessarily said about that person or any preconceived notions of that person. I try to meet them solidly as like the first time, clean slate. So when I meet anybody new, I try to make it a very positive experience when I first meet them, so I can give them the best possible way to become a friend. And that's kind of a test for, in my opinion, like for me, is like, can you come and meet somebody new and be totally positive about it? And then you just kind of build from that starting point to, can you take them for their word? Do they talk bad about others? So then you just start building your relationship off of that. But then if you see, maybe, they always have excuses for not showing up to something, or they're always late, or they,
that's why you didn't like my ex.
or they make plans and everything falls through. So it's kind of like I let them make their own mistakes, and then I'm like, okay, well, we've gotten to a point where maybe I don't like you. So
Fair
when it
enough.
came to Mariah or anybody, when I meet you for the first time, it's just very positive, and that's what I try to do. Is I try to be very positive when I meet anybody, regardless of who they are. So it wasn't like oh, it's a girl, I'm going to treat this girl differently. It was, this is another gamer, and we need to learn the game together to help our teammates. So it's, well, do you want to follow directions? Do you want my help? And then if she said, no, I don't want your help, or you're trying to do this because I'm a girl, I'd back off and be like, you know what? You can figure this out yourself. But
You're a strong, independent woman.
yeah, I let that with anybody. So, if it's a newbie to the game, I try to be very, very helpful. And if they don't want my help, at least I tried.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's, I mean, the main reason why I was asking, right, is because you have, on the one hand, most gamers, which Maria actually experienced, and then you have what some, like, I mean, I'm too old to say this, but like I hear people saying the simp, right, or the nice guy. And the like nice guys finish last. And it's really interesting because like this is the second interview that I have like with a couple who met through a video game. The other one was World of Warcraft. And it was actually pretty much the same. It was like helping someone else. Right. And like I'm guessing you, Corey, were doing it as this is a new person. I'm just going to put my best foot forward and see where this goes. Mariah, I'm guessing from your side, it was like everyone's being an asshole. This guy is actually treating me and helping me.
Yeah, just right? Like he wasn't even treating me like a girl. He was treating me like a person.
Yeah, this was more of a teammate.
I'm like, I liked that, because everyone was making fun of me because I was a girl and because I was playing the video game. And I was like, collectively, I probably have more hours in video games than any of you guys. Like, I was a really lonely, like, dorky kid. Like, I'm just bad at online stuff.
Yeah. I sometimes watch streamers, female streamers who have the same experience, right? It's like they're great players and they get trash talk all the time.
Yeah.
Not everyone has a Corey.
Yeah, that's, was kind of the problem. That's why I never tried like Twitch streaming or anything. Back before me and him were together, he was like, oh, you should set up a camera. You should try Twitch streaming. You should try this. And I'm like,
yeah, because she caught on
to get bullied by people.
She caught on to the game pretty quickly. And, she didn't need me to babysit her after a while. She figured it out on her own. And she ended up being, able to run the killer around a little bit here and there and set traps for them and, really get the objectives done really fast. And she learned, so much from just, hey, this is how you navigate, to she was trying things by herself and she would play. She didn't need me to play with her.
No,
it got to the point where the guys were like, hey, Mariah's on, let's snatch her up because she's actually a good player. And that's all it was. That's anybody with a new game, is you just need to, not be rude to them and let them learn. And then maybe they become a really valuable teammate later in the game, and then you can rely on them more.
Yeah, and what I was saying before about like, okay, like not everyone has a Corey. It's not so much about like showing you the ropes, though it's really useful when you don't know anything. But it also meant like someone who treats you well, like another player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So like you guys like started playing around the same time. He was helping you. Then at some point, I guess like once you broke up, is that when things started changing? Like when did things started going from we're just teammates or like players in a game to something, let's say, outside of the game or like getting closer? What happened afterwards?
He was running that wrestling company, and my ex at the time was one of his photographers.
Yeah.
So I would come to the shows and we would all kind of hang out. Me, his brother, Corey, and then my ex. And we would see each other, every couple of weeks. We would do game nights here at this house. We would play board games.
I was really trying to be friends because I just got off of being a truck driver. And you could probably imagine being out by yourself for weeks at end and coming home for 4 days and not having time for anybody, and then going back out on the road for another couple weeks. So when I got away from that and I started doing local stuff where I was home every day, I didn't have a friends group anymore. So it was me trying to rebuild a friends group because everybody's pretty much moved on with their life. And, I didn't expect them to put their lives on pause for me or anything like that, but I lost contact with a lot of people. So when my brother did kind of reach out and say, hey, we're playing this game together, I kind of jumped on the opportunity to let's try to rebuild a friends group.
Oh,
so,
thanks.
it was like me, my brother, her ex, her, and then, some other people. I'd invite them over because I'm really into board games. So I have quite a collection of like tabletop gaming games. So I'd invite everybody over and get some pizza and, we'd play some board games together. So just like once a week we'd do that.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the week, we were all kind of on the same schedule. So we'd just jump on Dead by Daylight, play games here and there. And then I had, like she said, the wrestling show. So that was like the first time I met her was at a wrestling show. But I was really busy.
Yeah,
so, I pretty much did everything at the shows. So I was like, hey, nice to meet you. Gave her a hug and went on about the day. And then afterwards, I took everybody out to dinner, just kind of, trying to rebuild my friends group. So
Yeah.
I was kind of desperate for some friends at the moment. So I was just kind of trying to get anybody to, come hang out with me, become friends. And I know it sounds kind of sappy, but it was like anybody that was going to be respectful to me and respect my space. I was like, well, just come hang out, and I had my own place. And so slowing down a bit it also started meeting each other while we were playing board games. And then,
so before we keep going, so like when you guys first, I'm guessing when you were just in the game, you didn't really think much of each other. That's my guess. I mean, you had a boyfriend and, or what?
I thought of him as a good friend, before we even met. It got to the point where we had each other added on Facebook. We would send memes to each other. We wouldn't really get into an in-depth conversation or anything, but I considered him one of my friends. And then as my relationship with my ex slowly started to degrade, I was like, well, this is my best friend.
Ooh.
That's probably not like the best thing in the universe, but I was like, this is my best friend. This is the only person that I talk to.
Well, the thing too is like it wasn't anything flirty either.
No,
like it was.
We would just send each other funny pictures and talk shit to each other.
Yeah, and that's all it really was. It was more, like I said, I was more wanting friends at the moment, and I wasn't really looking for anything else but friends. And it just kind of went from when she broke up with her ex, it was like, well, she had a bunch of free time, and it was like, well, want to hang out, and
yeah, and we did,
and we did
all the time.
So when you said want to hang out, it was just as friends.
Yeah. No, there was never anything like weird going on ever until after I came in with a suitcase.
Yeah, and like she said, she was kind of having some issues with her living situation. So it was like, hey, and from what I understood, it was kind of a pretty big argument. And she was like, hey, I just need to decompress. I was like, hey, just, come stop by and, you can stay, no strings attached to it. The whole thing will blow over and you could probably mend that fence and go back and live where you're living, because it's just a big fight. Is all it was. And
sure.
And her and her father are very, very close, and I wasn't trying to make him uncomfortable either with it. So it's like, hey, I'm moving in with this guy that you really don't know that I met online. So you get all red flags.
But you guys did know each other for a while, and you have been like talking, and you met in person. It's not like it was a complete stranger. I mean, stranger.
If you're looking at it from his point of view, when you say, hey, it's this guy that you don't know very well that I met online that lives in our town that I'm going to go randomly stay with him for a couple of days. I was just like, it sounds really bad when you say it out loud.
Okay.
But this was just as friends.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
neither of you had thought of anything other than that. So basically, you had in the beginning just like send some memes or some funny videos. I'm guessing the conversation started like getting to some deeper topics at some point,
Yeah.
enough so that you decided to move in like to his place temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it was very like temporary. I was like, yeah, you can stay here for a couple days, let that blow all over and figure that out. And then it was just like,
I don't want to leave.
she was like, I don't think I want to go back there. And I was like, well, you know, you have a job and, you know, maybe we can work something out and, you know, you can stay here till you get on your feet or figure something else out. And then it just kind of blossomed into,
We're in a relationship.
yeah. And when she says that, it sounds really fast, but it was like hanging out, talking, you know, a lot of just, and then her brother and her sister would come over, and then my brother and my friends would come over, and it just kind of turned into everybody going, "Hey, what's going on here? You
Yeah.
guys like a thing?"
It was
and
my
then it was
sister
like
that
we're
did
just kind of
it.
like,
Are we?
"Are we a thing?" And then,
But nothing had happened.
no, nothing. Nothing happened.
Now, when
until
they were going,
until it did happen.
sure, and I really want to get there later. But so at that point, when you say like, oh, like your friends were coming over, your sister was coming over, that's when you already said, "I'm living here." Is that correct? Or were you
Not
still
quite
in
yet. No, we were
not
still
yet.
kind of.
Yeah, her sister was a big driving force, and the whole thing was, and that's what it seemed like to me, from what I gathered, was her sister's like, "Hey, Corey's really nice." So it was more of her sister going, "Hey, you guys should be not just friends," and she's the one that kind of really
pushed us
pushed
together.
us together.
I thank her for it.
And I do, and I always tell her that, especially when we got married. I was like, "You're the reason why we got married. You're the reason why we have a kid. You're the reason why." And she's so important to me.
Yeah,
Her
we love
sister's
our
very
sister.
important to me, and I love her so much as you know, my sister-in-law, and it feels like a real sister, you know. And but she was really the driving force of, "Hey, Corey's really nice to you. Corey's really cool," and she was the one hyping me up to her.
Right.
And that's kind of, I think that's what opened her eyes of,
Maybe
I guess I do like him.
So Maria, you had not thought about it until she pointed it out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I knew that he was my best friend, and I knew that I was really close to him, but I didn't know that it was, like, those kind of feelings until my sister, you know, she was kind of telling me, she was like, I see the way you look at him. Like, I see the way you interact around him. I haven't seen you this happy in so many years, because our mom passed away. So, like, we were both going through our own stuff and, like, being really sad and stuff. And she's like, I haven't seen you this happy since before she passed. Like, you really need to take that into consideration and think about, like, what truly makes you happy. He's not going to stick around forever while you figure your shit out. And I'm like, yeah, you might be right about that.
And Corey, like, were you seeing her as more than a friend, or not yet?
She was just somebody that I hung out with, you know, and
Okay.
she was in kind of a rough predicament, and I don't like to let my friends be in much of a rough predicament. I have some very solid friends that I have one friend that I've known since middle school. I have one friend that I've been hanging out with for 15 years now, and he lives 4 hours away from me right now, and I still make time to go see him, or he comes down and sees us. He'll come visit us, or we'll meet halfway and hang out. But when I have friends, I treat them probably closer to family members than I do anything else. So, you know, I got my acquaintances and stuff, you know, like that people that I'm friendly with, and then I have what I consider my family.
But in short, no, he didn't really see me as a potential romantic partner until like right around the time that I did. Like I said, we were both getting bullied by our friends. So we were like, you guys obviously like each other. And then we thought about it harder and we were like, I think we do. Like, oh, that's weird.
So how did you like bring it up? Was it like a talk? Like, were you like afterwards? Was it?
So we were both at separate bars getting drunk. I was with my sister and some work friends. He was with his brother and some friends. And we were both, didn't realize it at the time, but we were both talking about each other to our groups of people. And we both got pretty messed up, and he just kind of texted me, and he was like, I think I love you. And I was like, I think I love you too. Like, do you want to come meet at my dad's house afterwards and we'll party for a little bit about it? And we did. And that's kind of how that happened. Like, it was just so funny how we were with two totally different groups of people that were just bullying us into being like, no, you guys do love each other.
It felt like it was like, you really do like Mariah. You like, and then it was on her end, you really do like Corey. So it was kind of like our friends just kind of like mushing us together. It was like, now kiss.
And when he sent you, I think I love you, you understood it as romantically. You didn't think like as a friend.
Yes, I did. I was just like, oh, that's the moment. I still have it in my phone.
Yeah, and I think for me, it was like everybody was just kind of saying it, and then I was like, I'm not gonna dilly dally around it. I'm not going to treat her any differently. I'm just gonna go in for this and go, hey, I think I have stronger feelings than friends with you, and it was just a shot. And I told her, I was like, if it's not reciprocating, totally understand. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. And she was like, I said, hey, I think I'm falling in love with you. I think I love you. And she was like, I think I love you too. And do you want to meet up? And we did that night, hung out and kind of figured it out from there, and was like, yeah, this is not just friendship anymore. This is actually like, we want to try to build something together. And it was easy because we're friends already. So
yeah, that helped a lot. We already knew each other, so well. It wasn't like a giant shock because, we were already staying with each other too. And I feel like that's one of the hardest parts in a relationship is you date for so long and then you move in. And there's this giant shell shock and you're trying to get to know this person that you now have to spend 24 hours a day with. Like, we already had the luxury of knowing each other on that deeper level. So it was way easier than it could have been for like other people. Because, I've heard it from my friends before. They're like, I just moved in with this guy. I didn't know he like picks his toes or something.
Yeah, and like speaking of that, right? It's that's where my next question was going to go. So I understand that you guys had been drinking when you texted.
Yes.
But apart from
liquid
that, yes, liquid courage. Yes. But apart from that, like, had you thought about it when you were sober, and thinking like, okay, what happens if I get rejected? Like, what happens with you're living together? You are best friends, you are in the same friend group, because those are things that I often hear from people who are like, oh, like I like my friend, but if I get rejected, then it's gonna break the whole group up. Like, did you guys have those thoughts at some point?
I had it a little bit, but I also understood that he respected me as a person. So I feel like if I would have said no, he probably would have just dropped it and we would have been able to continue being friends. It might have been a little weird.
Yeah, I think I made that clear to her when I did message her. I was like, if this is wrong, or if because I had everybody hyping me up on it, and then and I didn't know she was getting hyped up on the other side. So I said, if this is wrong or if I'm misreading this, I totally respect your answer. It's, and if it's no and maybe I'm wrong, it's cool. There's no pressure on this. There's no, and I think I already built up I don't know, like a reputation with her that I can be respectful to people regardless of what their decision is.
Yeah.
So like you said, you brought up the whole living arrangement and stuff like that at the moment. And when I said that, I think she knew that if she was totally not okay with it, that I would respect that. And I think I proved that to her to that point. So I wasn't worried about blowing up the friends group. I wasn't worried about, I just needed an answer. So regardless of whatever answer was, could have went, okay, I totally misunderstood that, and I'll respect that, and we'll keep this all together the best we can. And if it gets too weird, that's me. that's my problem.
So you pretty much had not been thinking about it, and then once you were convinced and you were a bit drunk, you like straight away you were like, "Hey, I just realized this. Text." Is that sort of like Corey's side?
In the back of my head for a while too. Like I had been thinking about it.
From my side was everybody was kind of saying it, and then I was like, well, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want to have it linger too much. So I just wanted to kind of a yes or no. And she said yes, which is very, very lucky. If she would have said no, this would be a totally different, harder conversation to have. And we don't know. I don't know that no. So I don't know how to say. Luckily, I got lucky enough to where I was right. And that is a very hard step to take for people because, like you said, you might blow up a friends group. You might make people uncomfortable. You might, ruin something that you got going really good. And it takes a lot of courage to make that step. And I can see where it does hold people back because they don't want to lose that. And I don't blame them for being cautious on speaking their true feelings towards somebody, if that makes sense.
I'm just glad you did it instead of me. My sister would have just held me in front of you and been like, Mariah, say the words.
Now kiss.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it sounds like, Corey, you were fairly confident that even if she said no, that you guys could work things out.
I knew I could. I didn't know if she could. I don't
know. I had rejected, friends before. It was always weird because they took it really hard. So I guess I was worried a little bit about that, but also, I cared about you. So I was like, no, I do love you too.
Well, but you also stayed in the same friends group as your ex, which many people would not do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of the type of person where if I like you, and I try not to let outside influences kind of mess that up. And I told everyone when me and my ex broke up too, I was like, you guys don't have to be friends with me anymore if you don't want to, I can find something else to do with my time. And they were like, no, you're really cool. We want to keep you around. And I'm like, okay, well, if we can work it out, we can work it out. It did work like that for a long time until I think a couple of months after me and you started seriously dating. Because then my ex got a little bit upset and he was like, oh, you guys had feelings for each other before this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we really didn't. Not that I'm aware of, at least.
That's the thing, too, is it wasn't even, even though we did have people on the other side of the conversation kind of hyping us up, there was, when we did finally say, I guess we are dating, there was some people that were like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't like this. And they decided they didn't want to be friendly with anybody anymore in the friends group. So, it's a risky move. It really is. It's a really risky thing to do. And when that kind of stuff happens, there is going to be fallout regardless of how well you do it or how nasty you do it.
Yeah.
But Corey, for you, it sounds like friends are really important. How did you feel about that?
I'm not going to really sit there and change myself for somebody's approval. So, like I said, I try to meet people at, I try to meet them in the most friendly way possible. And if they can't respect my decisions, I'm not going to sit there and grovel and try to keep you around. I'm going to let you do whatever you're going to want to do. I didn't do anything to anybody to justify them not understanding where I was coming from, or question my motives, or question our friendship because of it. And if they did, that's on them. That's their feelings, and I can't control their feelings. So, friends do come and go sometimes, and sometimes it's a bad reason, and sometimes it's a good reason. Like I was saying earlier, I have a friend that moved 4 hours away. We used to hang out every day. 6-7 hours a day. We'd get off work, we'd hang out all day and all night and all weekend. And when he moved away, we still stay in contact. Anybody else, it's easy to be like, I understand you moved for a better job position. Like, I understand, like, that's what I'm coming from with him. I understand that he had to leave. I understand that he had to go somewhere to make more money. I understand all that. And our friendship means more than me going, oh, we don't hang out anymore, or we're not best friends. That was important to me. And seeing you succeed is important to me. And us making time for each other is important to me. So, but there's also people that's, right around the block that we don't talk anymore because they got busy with work, or, there's that side of it too. It's all in how much effort the other person's doing on their end as well. I'm not going to sit there and grovel at somebody or change my ways to make somebody comfortable just to be my friends. I like real friends, and there's some friends that I have that I can go 3 or 4 weeks without talking to at all, and we just pick up a whole conversation and have a 3-hour conversation, and then not talk for another 3 months. So when I say my friends are important to me, that's what I mean is there's no strings attached to me. I understand that you have to make decisions that don't involve me. And I don't take that personally. Some people do. Some people take that very, very personally. Their feelings get hurt over it when you can't make time for them, or when you're not returning text or calls or anything like that. They're like, they want to be the center of attention or something like that. They don't understand that life happens. People get busy, and they take that to heart, and then they go on and they're like, oh, we're not friends anymore. It's like, that's not how that was meant at all.
Yeah. I think I don't have any more questions. You guys, is there anything else that you would like to share from your story, or anything else that we may have missed?
I don't know. I think we're kind of boring,
No, I think like each story has its own unique thing.
Yeah.
And there's also some patterns. And what I get from your story in your case is, first of all, like the value of friendship, right? Like you guys wanted friends to hang out and to not feel lonely and to have a support system, but that's also how you ended up together, right?
Yeah.
Because you were just making friends. And they kind of forced you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think good friends want to see the best for you. And I guess that's the value in that, is having somebody else's opinion, having people call you out and hold you accountable for stuff is kind of cool. Because it's easy to be alone and say, oh, I have enough, I don't need any friends right now. And just
can't grow as a person unless you have people around you. You can just
do your same, wake up, go to work, come home. You could have your same routine, and that's not like very fulfilling. So when you have friends, you have stuff to look forward to. So it's like you have your week grind of, your work, and then you have things to look forward to as, oh, so-and-so's coming over, or, oh, we're going over to their so-and-so's place. We have a con to go to. Oh, we're going to get to see all of our con friends now. So we got a bunch of people that we know just from conventions. That when we do go, it's like, hey, are you going to be there? Yeah, I'll be there. And make time to meet and say hi, or grab something to eat, or just sit and hang out and catch up. And we have, our really core friends that we stay in contact with pretty much all the time. And then we have, support friends. And so it's very important for probably me and Mariah to have the type of people around us to, like I said, hold us accountable to things, call us out if we're doing, if we're slacking,
and of course to
on
bitch
our
about
goals,
each other, obviously.
And yeah, we have our vents so that Mariah's ticking me off, guys,
Go
and then
message
it's
Matt
like,
about
dude,
it.
it's not that big of a freaking deal. You're being a crybaby about it, and then her friends, because my friends set me straight, her friends set her straight, and
I'm kidding.
that's kind of the idea of having friends, is just being held accountable outside of your own judgment system, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did get lucky, being best friends, and then ended up getting married and doing all the things that we've done. I'm glad I picked up the video game. I guess.
would play again.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. This is super useful. And to everyone watching and listening, if you have any questions for them or for past or future guests, just send me a message at datelikeanerd anywhere, or an email at dm@datelikeanerd.com. In the meantime, date like a nerd. It's easier.